Hello everyone and welcome to the Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless preview video for the week of March 16th, 20 reveals that Traci Abbott will get some news that leaves her reeling. Nikki Newman will spread the word about a mystery woman while Matt Clark's enemies plot against him, so here's what Y&R fans can expect. The weekly promo kicks off with Adam Newman promising Nick Newman that they're going to get Matt. Although Nick may be a little impatient, Adam will feel confident it's all going to work out. Once they arrange a meeting, Adam will insist that Nick can deal with Matt however he sees fit. Of course, Adam will need to speak with Risa Thompson first, so Nick will undoubtedly be antsy while he's waiting to make a move. Nick wants to end Matt's threat once and for all, so he'll be eager to move forward with this final Matt trap. While Nick and Adam's Vegas drama begins, Nikki will have some shocking information for Traci. Since Traci's been worried about Jack going missing, Nikki will fill her in after gathering as many details as she can get from Victor Newman. Nikki will stun Traci when she spills that Jack's being held on a yacht in the middle of Lake Michigan. Before Traci can recover from that shocker, Nikki will deliver another one by admitting Victor hinted about a woman being with Jack. Although Nikki apparently won't know who that mystery woman is just yet, she'll have a bad feeling about the escalating risks here. Yeah, and our fans know it's Patty Williams who's watching over Jack as part of Victor's grand plan. Thanks to the drugging fiasco that Jack's enduring, Diane Jenkins Abbott is on the verge of seeing something she'd rather not see. The weekly preview video shows Patty and Jack in bed together as Diane approaches the door and starts banging on it to see if Jack's in there. It may not be long until Diane barges in and sees Jack looking way too cozy with Patty. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Diane's in for a disgusting shock, so stay tuned. The tension in The Young and the Restless begins to thicken as a new week approaches, and the preview for March 16th, 20 hints at storms gathering on every horizon. At the heart of the emotional whirlwind stands Traci Abbott, who is about to receive news so shocking it threatens to knock the ground out from beneath her. What begins as concern soon spirals into something far more unsettling, as secrets long hidden begin surfacing in ways no one could have predicted. Meanwhile, far from the quiet corners of worry and uncertainty, dangerous plans are quietly being set into motion. Enemies sharpen their strategies and allies make bold promises, all while an invisible clock ticks down toward confrontation. The week's preview paints a picture of looming chaos, where every revelation feels heavier than the last and every decision pushes the characters closer to a breaking point. And in true Genoa City fashion, the truth never arrives gently. It crashes through the door with dramatic force. The weekly promo opens on a moment thick with determination as Adam Newman stands face to face with his brother, Nick Newman, promising that their target will soon have nowhere left to hide. Adam's confidence burns quietly but fiercely as he assures Nick that their plan to bring down Matt Clark is finally falling into place. Nick, however, isn't quite as patient. The weight of Matt's threat has lingered far too long, and every passing moment only fuels Nick's urgency to end it once and for all. Adam insists that everything will work out exactly as intended, explaining that once they arrange the meeting, Nick will have the freedom to deal with Matt however he sees fit. Yet even with that promise hanging in the air, one crucial step remains unfinished. Adam must first have a conversation with Risa Thompson. As Adam handles that delicate task, Nick can only wait, his impatience simmering beneath the surface as he prepares for the final trap that could finally eliminate Matt's looming danger. While the brothers' dangerous strategy begins unfolding in Las Vegas, a very different kind of shockwave ripples through Genoa City. Nikki Newman arrives with information that will shake Traci to her core, and the moment carries the heavy stillness of a storm just about to break. Traci has already been consumed with worry over the sudden disappearance of Jack Abbott, her mind racing through endless possibilities about where he could be and what might have happened to him. Nikki, having gathered as many details as she could from the ever-calculating Victor Newman, finally delivers the truth, and it lands like a thunderclap. Jack, she reveals, is being held on a yacht drifting somewhere in the vast waters of Lake Michigan. The image alone is enough to make Traci's heart sink, the isolation and danger of it sending chills down her spine. Yet Nikki isn't finished, and the second revelation she shares only deepens the dread swirling around them both. With visible hesitation, Nikki confesses that Victor hinted Jack isn't alone out there. Somewhere aboard that lonely yacht, a mysterious woman is keeping watch over him. Nikki admits she doesn't yet know who the woman is, but an uneasy feeling settles in her chest as she senses the situation is far more dangerous than it appears. For viewers who know the truth, the mystery carries an even darker twist because the woman guarding Jack is none other than Patty Williams. Her involvement is not random but part of Victor's elaborate and deeply calculated plan. Meanwhile, Jack himself is trapped in a disturbing ordeal, made even worse by the drugs he's been forced to endure. The lines between reality and manipulation begin to blur, pushing him into circumstances that threaten to destroy his life in ways he never imagined. What Victor considers strategy is quickly turning into something far more volatile. As the preview reaches its most shocking moment, the scene shifts to the yacht itself, where the consequences of this twisted scheme begin to unfold in horrifying clarity. Under the influence of drugs and confusion, Jack finds himself in bed with Patty, a situation that looks disturbingly intimate from the outside. At that very moment, Diane Jenkins Abbott approaches the door, her instincts already telling her something is terribly wrong. She pounds against it urgently, calling out as she tries to confirm whether Jack is inside. The tension crackles through the air as every second stretches painfully long, the truth hovering just beyond the door. When Diane finally forces her way inside, she may be confronted with a sight that will leave her completely horrified. Jack appearing far too comfortable beside Patty. According to spoilers, the shock awaiting Diane will be nothing short of revolting, a moment destined to send shock waves through every relationship connected to Jack's life. And as the week unfolds, the fallout from this disturbing discovery promises to ignite even more chaos across Genoa City. Far away from the chaos building in Genoa City, the story drifts toward the dark waters of Lake Michigan, where the mysterious yacht rocks gently against the quiet rhythm of the waves. Inside that floating prison, the atmosphere feels heavy, almost suffocating, as Jack Abbott struggles through the haze, clouding his mind. The drugs forced upon him have begun to blur the edges of reality, twisting his awareness and leaving him vulnerable in ways he would never normally allow. Nearby, Patty Williams watches over him with unsettling devotion, convinced in her own fractured way that she is protecting him. To Patty, this strange captivity feels like a moment of destiny, an opportunity to be close to Jack in a way she has long fantasized about. But what she sees as fate is actually part of a much larger, colder strategy orchestrated by the ever-calculating Victor Newman. And as the hours pass aboard that isolated yacht, the fragile line between manipulation and disaster grows thinner by the second. Back in Genoa City, the emotional weight of Nikki's revelation continues to ripple through Traci Abbott, leaving her shaken and struggling to process what she has just learned. The thought of Jack stranded on a yacht in the middle of Lake Michigan already feels terrifying enough, but the hint that another woman is there with him turns her concern into something far darker. Traci's mind races with possibilities, none of them comforting, as she tries to imagine what kind of situation her brother could possibly be trapped in. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman senses the same growing dread, her instincts telling her that Victor's involvement means the truth is far more complicated than what little they know so far. Nikki tries to steady Traci with what reassurance she can offer, yet even she cannot ignore the uneasy feeling that everything is spiraling toward a dangerous confrontation. Somewhere behind the scenes, Victor's grand design continues to unfold with chilling precision. But even the most carefully crafted plans can unravel when emotions, secrets, and unexpected witnesses collide. And that collision may arrive sooner than anyone expects. As the preview teases, the moment of truth begins to creep closer, when Diane Jenkins Abbott follows her instincts straight to the yacht. Suspicion burns inside her as she approaches the door behind which Jack has been kept, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and determination. Something feels terribly wrong, and Diane refuses to ignore the warning signs any longer. She begins banging on the door, calling out Jack's name, desperate to know whether he is inside and what kind of situation he might be in. Inside the room, however, the scene unfolding paints a deeply disturbing picture. Jack and Patty lie in bed together, their closeness appearing shockingly intimate to anyone who might walk in without knowing the truth behind Jack's drugged condition. The tension in that moment becomes almost unbearable as Diane's pounding grows louder and the possibility of discovery inches closer. Every second stretches painfully long, like the calm before a devastating explosion. If Diane forces the door open, and all signs suggest she will, the sight waiting for her could shatter everything she believes about Jack. From her perspective, it may appear that Jack has willingly shared a moment of intimacy with Patty, an image so disturbing it threatens to ignite outrage, betrayal, and heartbreak all at once. Yet the reality behind the scene is far more twisted, shaped by manipulation, drugs, and Victor's carefully engineered scheme. Still, truth rarely reveals itself immediately in Genoa City, and first impressions have a dangerous way of fueling emotional fallout. As the preview for the week of March 16-20 draws to a close, the storm clouds over The Young and the Restless grow darker than ever. Nick and Adam's dangerous trap for Matt continues to build momentum in Las Vegas, promising a confrontation that could change everything. At the same time, Traci struggles with the terrifying knowledge that her brother is being held captive on a yacht, watched over by a mysterious woman whose identity remains hidden from her. And on that very yacht, Diane stands on the verge of witnessing a moment so shocking it could alter the course of multiple lives. The coming days promise revelations, betrayals, and emotional shockwaves that will echo through Genoa City long after the truth finally surfaces. In the world of the Newmans and the Abbotts, secrets never stay buried forever, and when they rise to the surface, they rarely do so quietly. As the tension intensifies across the world of The Young and the Restless, every storyline begins tightening like a web pulled to its breaking point, drawing the characters toward moments they may never be able to undo. Out on the vast cold waters of Lake Michigan, the yacht drifts quietly beneath a gray sky, a deceptive calm surrounding the storm of chaos unfolding within its walls. Inside, Jack Abbott remains trapped in a fog of confusion and vulnerability, the lingering effects of the drugs making it difficult for him to understand the reality of his situation. The powerful businessman who normally commands every room he enters is now reduced to someone struggling to maintain clarity, his strength undermined by circumstances he cannot fully control. Nearby, Patty Williams watches him with an unsettling mixture of obsession and devotion, convinced that fate has somehow brought them together once again. In Patty's fragile mind, this strange captivity is not cruelty but opportunity, a twisted chance to be close to the man she has fixated on for years. Yet what she sees as destiny is merely a piece of a far larger chessboard, one carefully arranged by the calculating mind of Victor Newman. Victor's plan, meticulously crafted in the shadows, is built on layers of manipulation that few people can fully see yet. To him, every move serves a purpose, every risk weighed against the reward of gaining the upper hand in a much larger game of power. But even the most strategic mastermind cannot control every variable, and the human heart has a dangerous tendency to disrupt even the most carefully plotted schemes. As events unfold aboard that lonely yacht, the situation edges closer to a catastrophic misunderstanding, one that could shatter relationships and ignite emotional firestorms throughout Genoa City. The drugs clouding Jack's judgment have already pushed him into a compromising situation with Patty, creating an image that tells a completely different story than the truth. To anyone witnessing the scene without context, it could look like betrayal, intimacy, or something even worse. And unfortunately for Jack, someone is about to see exactly that. Just outside the room, Diane Jenkins Abbott stands with her heart racing, every instinct screaming that something is terribly wrong. Her determination pushes her forward as she pounds harder against the door, demanding to know if Jack is inside. The echo of her fists striking the wood reverberates through the quiet hallway, turning each second into a pulse of rising tension. Diane's mind floods with fear and suspicion, her imagination racing through the worst possible scenarios. She knows Jack well enough to recognize when something doesn't add up, and the silence behind the door only deepens her dread. The moment feels suspended in time, as if the entire world is holding its breath in anticipation of what comes next. Then, in a rush of desperate resolve, Diane prepares herself for the possibility that she may need to force the door open. Inside the room, the scene remains dangerously misleading. Jack, still disoriented and weakened by the drugs in his system, lies beside Patty in a way that appears disturbingly intimate. Patty herself seems almost content, convinced that their proximity is proof of the connection she has always believed existed between them. But beneath the surface of that eerie calm, chaos is only a heartbeat away. If Diane bursts through that door and sees what appears to be Jack sharing a bed with Patty, the shock could ignite a chain reaction of fury, heartbreak, and betrayal. From Diane's perspective, the image alone might be enough to make her feel utterly disgusted and betrayed. Yet the cruel irony is that Jack himself may barely understand what is happening, let alone realize the devastating consequences that moment could carry. Meanwhile, back in Genoa City, the ripple effects of Victor's scheme continue spreading through those who care most about Jack. Traci Abbott struggles to steady herself after hearing the alarming details from Nikki Newman. The image of her brother trapped on a yacht in the middle of Lake Michigan refuses to leave her mind, and the mention of a mysterious woman with him only deepens her unease. Traci's love for Jack has always been unwavering, and the thought that he could be in danger fills her with quiet terror. Nikki too feels the heavy weight of the situation. Knowing that Victor's involvement means nothing about this ordeal is simple. While she trusts her husband's intelligence, she cannot ignore the uneasy feeling that this plan may be spiraling beyond anyone's control. In Genoa City, the truth remains hidden behind layers of secrecy, but the emotional fallout is already beginning to build. At the same time, far from the icy waters of Lake Michigan, another confrontation inches closer in Las Vegas. Adam Newman continues putting the final pieces of his strategy into place, determined to ensure that Matt Clark finally faces the consequences of his actions. Standing beside him, Nick Newman struggles to contain his impatience, the desire for justice burning fiercely inside him. For Nick, this isn't just another business conflict or family rivalry, it's a threat that must be eliminated once and for all. Adam remains calm, confident that their plan will work exactly as intended once he handles the delicate conversation with Riza Thompson. But until that step is complete, Nick can only wait, his frustration simmering beneath the surface as the moment of confrontation draws closer. And so the stage is set for a week filled with explosive revelations, emotional heartbreak, and dangerous confrontations. On one side, Nick and Adam prepare to spring their trap in Las Vegas, determined to end Matt's threat before it destroys even more lives. On the other, a shocking discovery looms aboard the lonely yacht drifting across Lake Michigan, where Diane stands on the brink of witnessing a scene that could change everything she believes about Jack. Meanwhile, Traci and Nikki struggle with the terrifying uncertainty surrounding Jack's fate, unaware of just how close the truth and the chaos really is. In the world of the young and the restless, secrets are like ticking time bombs waiting patiently beneath the surface. And when they finally explode, the emotional shockwaves have a way of tearing through families, loyalties, and hearts alike, leaving no one untouched by the aftermath.